So, for those of you who have maybe never encountered the business Revolut, it's essentially a cash shop app. It's what facilitates the transactions. If you sort of maybe own a website or you do payments to your website, there is probably a very good chance Revolut is what you use to facilitate those purchases. It's what the bit that sort of slots into your website. Someone comes along, buys something, Revolut handles all the cash and make sure you get paid and the customer's money goes to you. So overall, it's a pretty necessary sort of function in this day and age. Now, even more interestingly, of course, is that Revolut is a UK company. It was built here in the UK and has recently been probably certainly one of the largest and most successful, I think, fintech startups really in recent years. Very much so. And this is a UK company. This isn't like a US company. It's got a base in like the UK or anything like that. No, this company's home is in London. I want to make that very clear because we are starting to see a pattern emerge. Because remember, we are now 3 years out officially from leaving the EU at this point, and we have seen continuous companies come forward and say it is increasingly harder to do business in the UK. Now, we already knew that because this is what the small and medium-sized companies have been saying for years and what the consequences would be. But the fact that you've now got Revolut, who is a UK company with international reach, saying, we don't want to be in the UK anymore, we've got a lot of problems, I think, starting to emerge. So before we do get into more about this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me a coffee. And of course, there is the YouTube thank you button down below as well. And of course, you can join the Pony Club as well. Like I say, we can get weekly videos, of course, with the Patreons as well. Like I said, there will be one coming out probably later today as well, because yes, it is Tuesday I'm doing this. So yes, you will. There will be a new Pony Club video today. So, wow, this is a problem. Like, this is a massive problem, and the fact that, as we've said, this is a UK company. This isn't, as we said, this is not like a US company. No, this is a UK company. And increasingly, we are seeing these big companies not being listed on the London Stock Exchange. Instead, they are opting, from what we've at least seen so far, we've seen ARM go and list itself on the US Stock Exchange, not the UK one. And we are now seeing Revolut not only just say, well, we're not going to be in the London Stock Exchange, we're going to list on the US one. And this is the big one. Revolut has been courted by the governments of both France and Spain. Now, remember, back in the day, the Brexiteers would constantly claim that the EU is such a terrible place to do business. It is the worst place possible. But here you have a incredibly successful UK company that makes billions of pounds and adds to UK GDP and is one of those most successful fintech companies currently in the UK. It is now considering moving to either France or potentially Spain. Why? We are increasingly seeing big multinational companies going, or at least experiencing, the same effects that these small companies are. And the thing is, these big multinational companies, who, well, they can afford not to have a presence in the UK, will just go, well, in the UK, we're losing money, so why are we there when we could be in, France? This is a question these companies are now starting to ask. Why are we in the UK? And because this is now an increasingly bigger question, not being asked by small and medium-sized companies, we're now seeing international-sized companies starting to say, what's the point of being in the UK anymore? And we're seeing these companies go to the EU, which, again, we were told consistently by the Brexiteers during Brexit that, oh, don't worry, the second we leave the EU, all these companies will come lining up to want to be part and set up shop in the UK. Well, that hasn't happened. And there is no really big company that has decided that they are going to set up new business. We have seen big companies, sure, they've done some investment and they've, dropped a bit of cash, but by no means, when you look at their other locations, they've dropped significantly more. So I think we could see, and why Kemi Badenoch is desperate for this company not to go, because if they go to France or Spain or somewhere else in the EU, well, this just makes people like Badenoch, who made this argument about how wonderful Brexit would be, how wonderful Brexit would be for the UK business environment, when we've got multiple big UK companies consistently saying, because of Brexit, Britain is now a worse place to do business. How long before a trickle becomes a torrent? And how long before this torrent becomes a flood? Only a matter of time, I think. Only a matter of time. And unfortunately, that is going to have massive, massive repercussions to our economy. So, thank you, Brexiteers. Thank you very much for scaring away one of the UK's biggest and most successful UK fintech companies. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and of course, we'll see you all next time.